Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening based on where you are. My name is Vinish and I'm part of the Arcserve product marketing team. In the next several minutes, I hope to give a summary view of Arcserve Unified Data Protection, Arcserve UDP as we fondly call it, that should talk to why this offering is a must for any organization serious about protecting its priceless digital assets. Before we get started, if you have any questions, please drop them in the question box, and towards the end of the session, we'll look at these questions and we'll be glad to answer them. All right, so for those of you who know us, you know Arcserve is the most experienced vendor in the data protection space. We started sometime 1983. Choosing a vendor who has a broad and deep experience delivering solutions in the data protection domain is very important. Data protection takes years to perfect, and we have nearly 40 years' experience offering best-in-class solutions. We serve over 100,000 customers in 150 plus countries and over 10,000 MSPs with hundreds of petabytes under management. Now, Arcserve is a global top 5 data protection vendor and unified data resilience platform provider. So Arcserve has the right product width and depth, placing it in a unique proposition to cater to a variety of solution engineering needs. Now, Arcserve solves a variety of business and technical use cases, and it all comes from one vendor as opposed to 5 or 6 vendors. And that is why it is very important. Right from backing up files directly to cloud or immutable storage on-prem, or providing complex high availability solutions for enterprise applications, or hyperconverged scale out data protection appliance, Arcserve has all of it under its umbrella. Let's briefly look at some of the major drivers and challenges pertaining to data protection. Ransomware continues to impact the planet in a negative way, affecting businesses of all sizes and all regions mercilessly. Models like ransomware as a service offer cybercriminals the ease of opting a pre-built ransomware tool using which they can plan and execute attacks. All that is important here is a malicious intent and the attack plan. The rest is all available in the dark web. Now, Sophos conducted a survey sometime January, February this year, and it has some interesting details. It has several interesting details. 5,600 IT professionals in organizations with 100 to 5,000 employees across 31 countries responded to this survey, offering good details on the state of ransomware based on the previous year's experience. The snip from the report that you see here, talks to recovery methods used by customers across multiple sectors that responded, to the survey. See, it needs no detail to tell you how backups have come to the rescue, recovering data, and the relevance of why someone should consider it as a means of retrieving their priceless digital assets, crucial to operations. Now, the important piece is backups are a treasure trove, lying unmonitored, unfound, until the business actually gets to a point of requiring it for disaster recovery or business continuity purposes, or when data is required to be retrieved, which means a ransomware attack lies unnoticed until the organization finds that it has no means to resurrect its IT, and which is now taken over by ransomware. So securing backups is as important as taking regular backups of the data. The 3-2-1-1 strategy has gained prominence owing to a comprehensive recommendation it presents. 3 copies of data, 1 primary and 2 other copies of the data stored in 2 media types, with 1 copy stored offsite, maybe a secondary location or a DR location, and finally 1 immutable copy of the backup. The representation here presents how an organization can achieve this by backing up to an integrated backup appliance, or this could be a backup server with storage. Replication of the backed up recovery points to an offsite safe store, maybe using a WAN-based mechanism. Backup copies stored on an immutable store on-prem, or backup to tape. So as you can see, there is a mix of technologies needed to accomplish this. That includes storage targets such as tape media, immutable stores, and others. Air gapping is a preferred technique that has come into existence due to the rise of ransomware attacks and in the wake of enhanced security for backups. So what does air gapping mean? Quickly, right? In this case, so physically disconnected networking with no connection to the storage medium, right? That's a physical air gapping. Logical air gapping, to present a logical disconnect from the source. Typically a software defined approach or a software based air gap, like an immutable store on-prem or in the cloud. Or data once written cannot be changed or altered, thereby offering the ability to retrieve an unaltered copy of backup data. Storing backups on magnetic tapes, and storing them in vaults for long-term archival has been in practice for many years. This presents a complete physical air gap. The last one in 3211 was introduced solely for ransomware recovery and immutable storage. In this case, has a couple of options: cloud store and on-premise. An example in cloud would be Amazon S3 object lock that allows customers to store recovery points using a write once, read many model, or what's called a worm model, or other S3 compatible solutions like Wasabi or Nutanix that uses object lock. Immutable storage on-prem, I'm sure if you may have heard this. We have one safe and excellent immutable storage option that can be deployed on-prem. If you're interested to know more about this, please visit arcserve.com. There is wonderful material in there and a lot of supporting material. But I wanted to cite that as an example here of what an immutable storage on-prem solution would be. Okay, now all worries about ransomware protection lines of defense, concerns around recoverable data vanish with Arcserve's strategic partnership with Sophos that offers powerful data protection with a proactive ransomware protection approach, guarding precious backups from ransomware attacks. With Sophos, you now have a strong first line of defense for your backup data. Arcserve offers integrated cybersecurity and data protection for on-prem, cloud, and SaaS-based data. That is very important, as this is a clear differentiator. Okay, what is Arcserve UDP? Let's take a quick tour. Arcserve UDP is an image-based solution, that customers use to protect physical, virtual, and cloud workloads on-prem, on appliance, in private, public, or Arcserve cloud. We've seen why it's stressed the use for to appliance and cloud. At the heart of it, UDP has an excellent set of features, and let's look at a few of them, and we'll follow that with looking at some details around what the hardware appliances look like, the specifications. So Arcserve UDP offers a plan-based, simple, and easily configurable management console that allows to execute a variety of tasks, such as a host-based agentless backup, or what you're probably familiar with, what we call as a single-pass backup of VMs, agent-based Windows or Linux backups, right? Backup from UNC path, copying backups to tape, virtual standby, and much more. All from a single unified console, unlike disparate consoles, that we need for such critical tasks and protection functions. Arcserve UDP performs global source-side deduplication on the nodes being protected. And this is very important because when a data protection solution offers powerful functionalities, one of it is to make sure that there is deep data reduction. And with global source-side deduplication and compression, and we'll see a few other functions, that is achieved. Now with global source-side dedup, it only transmits data from the source node that is unique to the what we call the recovery point server, or the backup target, if you will. Right? In a minute, we'll look at what recovery point server is, but for now, you can think of it as a destination, the backup repository, right? That serves as a central data store. So after an initial full snapshot backup is taken, all of the backups capture just the incremental changes to the data. So what's with the global source-side dedup, right? So the amount of data being backed up is greatly reduced. The amount of data transferred over the network is reduced. The load on the production server is reduced. And the frequency of backups can be increased to provide great recovery point objectives. Right? So thanks to this functionality, it's easier to meet RPOs and RTO targets. With less data to transfer, backups can be more frequent and restores are faster. Now, why is it important to be global? Global dedup across all the clients in the infrastructure is central to limiting the unnecessary storage and transfer of duplicate backup data. Data is deduplicated across nodes, jobs, and across sites. You get true global dedup with all the benefits that the technology offers. I mentioned this to you previously, like how, from a technical point of view, global source-side dedup works with the recovery point server. So recovery point server, RPS, is the target repository for backups. This is an intelligent storage target gateway, which can be used to offload resource-intensive tasks. Typically in traditional systems, you'd find the agent handling this, making the production units stressed. Right? So now with the RPS, you could offload such resource-intensive tasks, such as catalog generation and purge operations from the agent. It can be used as a local storage center and also a replication engine. Right? From a central repository, you could use this like a replication engine for multi-site data protection, right, to remote locations. Of course, taking advantage of the global dedup. You can build multiple storage targets on a recovery point server. Multiple, we call them data stores. Right? There could be multiple data stores on a recovery point server. To summarize, every computer, VM, or server that gets backed up communicates with the Arcserve UDP's recovery point server, RPS, that manages a global data index of files on all machines everywhere. The RPS server does the work of figuring out what needs to be backed up and pulls new data as required while eliminating duplicate copies. Combined with compression technology, RPS can compress data on the disk by over 92%. How is that for savings? It is worthwhile to highlight that eligible customers can get a free copy of Sophos Intercept X Advanced for servers to protect their backups stored in the RPS server. Remember, we talked about our partnership with Sophos that offers a proactive response to guard backups from ransomware attacks. And here's a big step, right? So eligible customers get a free copy of the Sophos solution. Block level infinite incremental or I-square technology is a key to what it actually claims to do, right? Avoid the need for a second full, or and allow customers incremental backups. The picture on the right is worth the money. Global source side dedupe plus block level infinite incremental I-square, right? Plus compression. Imagine how deep the data reduction is going to be. It's going to be saving thousands of dollars in storage. It's going to avoid management headache. It's going to make the more efficient use of network bandwidth, much more, right? Not just storage space, not just save storage space. So we have built-in replication. So that's a block-based RPS data store to data store replication. Data can be replicated to multiple RPS servers automatically or on demand. Could replicate to multiple RPS servers automatically, right? Or demand, as I said, on demand, with support for cross-site replication within a single plan. It offers advanced scheduling, differential retention, and much, much more. Remember, if you want to satisfy a recommendation like 3211, then you will need to be replicating backup copies to an offsite location. That is preferably WAN optimized, right? Or can support sending data to a secondary location. Now you need functions like replication that would allow you to do this. And that is what we have with the built-in replication. So Arcserve UDP provides a single pass agentless backup of all VMs, without the need to install software agents, for VMware, Hyper-V, and Nutanix AHV environments. It backs up only the changed blocks, provides an application consistent backup for enterprise applications like, say, Exchange, or SQL, etc. Right? Importantly, the ability to offer granular recovery from such single pass backups and much, much more. So recovery needs a vast set of options, right? The whole purpose of backing up is to get your data back when you need it, and you'll need a variety of options, right? We're not going to talk about all of the options. The idea here is just to highlight some of the functionalities of UDP that will give you a view of what this solution is about and what this product offers. But I can tell you that we have a wide variety of options, right? Bare metal recovery, virtual standby, instant VM, granular recovery of files and folders, application granular recovery, say for Oracle, Exchange, whatnot, right? Any to any recovery, P2V, V2V. So Arcserve UDP offers a wide range of restore options. So highlighted here is the instant VM and the instant VMR recovery methods. These functions are critical when you need to minimize disruption and system downtime with VM recovery. So another one that I'd like to highlight is the local and remote virtual standby. So in a scenario where you need replicated recovery points to be converted to, say, supported virtual formats, right, like VHTs, VMDK, AHV, or AWS EC2 formats at the remote site, and then run these VMs to support critical DR needs, virtual standby is a perfect fit. So with periodic image-based protection for physical and virtual workloads, and a need to replicate to a remote location like a remote office, DR site, MSP, and cloud, virtual standby supports critical functions such as automated or manual failover to remote resources. This is very important. So Azure recovery is an advanced capability to test disaster recovery automatically and non-disruptively. Right? That eliminates the need to perform regular restore tests, right? In a traditional solution, you'd always have to test the backups to see if you can restore data from it. Now, what if we eliminate it? That's exactly what Azure Recovery does. This functionality assures the effectiveness and reliability of backups stored by Arcserve UDP. Now, customers with long-term archival needs, existing tape investments with needs to have a copy stored in a tape offsite, store data and media other than disks, and a lot of such critical use cases can leverage the ability to back up to tape. With 60 plus certified tape vendors that includes many popular ones, Arcserve can provide excellent support for tape-based media. So now that we have looked at some core functionalities of Arcserve UDP, let's look at what's in the latest release of Arcserve UDP 8.x. The key takeaway here is Arcserve is the only vendor to deliver comprehensive ransomware protection, combining proven data protection and industry-best cybersecurity as hardware, cloud services, and software. Arcserve 8.x introduces several improvements, beginning with the release of 8.0, followed immediately with the 8.1 release. So notable functionalities are the support for Oracle via RMAN, right? That's an agentless backup. Support for Nutanix files, backing up teams, an improved product experience, platform support with addition, for new operating systems, applications, whatnot, and much more. Those are the notable functionalities. Importantly, customers can leverage OneSafe to achieve immutable storage of their Arcserve UDP backups. OneSafe, in a quick definition, is a scale-out, object-based, immutable storage solution, a NAS appliance, with key functionalities such as dedupe, compression, encryption, and replication included in it. So OneSafe snapshots are immutable. In cases of a ransomware attack, the snapshots aren't affected and are immune to deletions and alterations. See, I'd love to talk more about the multiple benefits that Arcserve UDP and OneSafe brings to table, but in the interest of time, let's focus on the chief use case as it presents and as it pertains to Arcserve UDP. So Arcserve UDP has the ability to send a copy of your backup, a recovery point, to OneSafe, therefore ensuring that in the event of an unfortunate ransomware attack, you have an unaltered master copy of your recovery point for safe and secure recovery to a state where systems are no longer infected. Now, besides the copy recovery points that can be sent to OneSafe appliance, you can configure an RPS. Remember, RPS is the backup target of UDP. Right? You could configure an RPS on a OneSafe appliance, leveraging Arcserve's global source-side dedupe, along with OneSafe's inline dedupe and compression, and securing your backups through immutability. Now, isn't that high-value functionality? Now, besides the ability to send backups to an on-prem immutable store, you can leverage public cloud solutions to store backups. So what you see on the right side, right? So you could send it to public cloud services like S3 that offer functionalities like object lock, where you could store backups in an immutable state or an immutable store. Or you could use or you could store them in other S3 compliant solutions like Wasabi, Nutanix objects. Of course, a copy of the backups can always be sent to a cloud destination for safe store, or as recommended by the 3211 strategy. Let's double click on the Oracle RMAN edition to see what's in it. So customers can backup recover Oracle via RMAN on Windows and Linux environments. Application consistent Oracle database backups, full and incremental backups, allowing customers to leverage the needed protection from the top vendor, us. with Oracle RAC or real application clusters, any DB storage, including automatic storage management, we are well set to cater to a variety of Oracle configurations that need critical support. A well-arranged and comprehensive set of recovery options provides DBAs with what they need in times required, when they need the data back, right? So that is a very important and critical functionality. So you have a variety of recovery options. So we leverage functions such as block change tracking, right, for fast incremental backups, and that makes sure that the window is shortened typically. So the highlight for the addition is the ability to run a granular recovery, right? Say a table space point in time recovery. Of course, all the popular backup destinations are supported: RPS, recovery point server, local destination, or a remote share folder. Again, the agentless backup of critical Oracle database is big, as it doesn't strain the production servers at all. A completely offloaded backup offering no disruption to the primary product units, right? The primary systems, especially in the case of large databases. That's a highly beneficial functionality, and I'm guessing you understand how helpful that is. Of course, native RMAN integration within the familiar UDP interface, right, and many other high-value features, including granular recovery, that makes this a standout. Now, Arcserve UDP powers a range of integrated appliances loved by our customer base. Let's look at a high-level view of what these appliances are about. First comes the 9000 series, a very popular, robust, and data protection appliance with integrated cybersecurity. As you look at it, you'd see two groups: backup focused from 12 to 48 terabyte of effective capacity, and DR plus backup from 72 to about 0.5 petabytes, right, or 504 terabytes of effective capacity. So DR models have dual CPU, large RAM, and redundant everything. So advantages of this lineup: easy numbering, effective capacities in the model, and so is DR, right? So adding new line of local, the DR models, more than double the capacity, if you will, as you compare the previous series, from 240 terabytes of backups in 8000 series to about half a petabyte in the 9000 series, with redundant everything: CPU, SSD RAID 1, power supply, hard disk RAID 6, RAM, etc. Right? And of course, up to 0.5 petabyte per appliance. So if you look at what software is packaged, you see that Arcserve UDP is packaged with it. Again, there's a difference in the packaging there between the backup and DR models based on the needs, right? And of course, you see that you could easily extend the offering. Suppose you want continuous availability, you could configure that. Or if you'd like to leverage the services of, say, a fully managed service like the cloud hybrid service, sending recovery points offsite, that's an optional, and you can leverage that. Importantly, these appliances, 9000 series, come included, Sophos is included in these appliances. Right? You don't need to go and buy them separately. You don't need to worry about integrations, things like that. So this comes, Sophos Intercept X Advanced for service is included in the 9000 series appliance. We are pleased to share a 5-star review by IT Pro that stands testimony to all that we talked about. Right? So I can tell you that our 9000 series has been a great fit for customers who need an integrated offering that offers proactive responses to ransomware attacks on backups, combined with powerful data protection, allowing customers to solve a variety of technical and business use cases. Arcserve X series appliances. Again, that's secured by Sophos. So for large data set backup, And organizations keen on ensuring backup and restores and DR can continue smoothly on a powerful hardware, X series is the answer. X series has all flash compute unit supported by storage units, superior performance for disaster recovery. As you can see, up to 56 CPU cores and 2 terabytes and up to 2 terabytes of RAM on-prem and cloud add-ons. So when you compare with 9000 series, specifically for DR operations, it offers superior performance, right? Linear expansion kits, in appliance hard disk expansions, right? Any number of times, etc. Importantly, offers peace of mind with a 4-hour on-site support and much, much more. Again, from the packaging on what's included as part of X series, the top tier UDP premium is part of it. Arcserve backup is also part of it, which means you could back up data to tape and leverage all of those functionalities that it offers. And like the Arcserve 9000 series, Arcserve X series also includes Sophos Intercept X Advanced for server. So that this is very, very important because this offers proactive protection for your backups that are stored on the RPS server, right? So that's a strong first line of defense. And including this is a step ahead for us because we just don't want to say that you protect data, but we offer this, we include this in our software and our hardware solutions too. High availability. And like I said previously, you could extend the solution if you need needs, or you could easily extend. That's very important too. Okay, with Arcserve N series, this is our hyper-converged data protection appliance. It's a complete offering for customers with unpredictable data growth, fluctuating workloads, right? Our hyper-converged data protection appliance combines technologies from leaders, to offer a hyper-available recovery platform for the broadest set of workloads across physical, virtual, and cloud workloads. It covers on-prem and SaaS data protection. Arcserve's hyper-converged data protection appliances are powered by Nutanix, right, and secured by Sophos, right? Intercept X with data protection from Arcserve UDP. So a single SKU, including all 3 technologies from Arcserve N series, presents family interfaces, to let customers manage workloads, monitor backups, track resources, and whatnot. If you're interested to know more, again, please reach out to a representative at Arcserve or a partner, and we'll be happy to support you with rich material that we have that provides more details on any of these solutions, or specifically the hyperconverged or the Arcserve N series solution. Right now, from a specification perspective, the N1100-4 and N1200-4 are the latest models, cluster models that we recently announced. They're built to fit, have a 4-node minimum, up to 540 terabytes of effective capacity, and up to 2 terabytes of RAM per cluster. Yeah. So the N1100-4 clusters have a 2U rack size with 4 nodes built in. Hard disks worth around 38 terabytes per cluster, SSDs 61 terabytes per cluster. And of course, Arcserve UDP Premium is what powers the data protection. Nutanix AOS Pro is the platform, the hyperconvergence platform. And of course, Sophos Intercept X Advanced for servers to protect the backup systems. A depiction in this slide is to give you a glimpse of how various offerings powered by Arcserve UDP and secured by Sophos cater to a variety of needs, be it software only, an integrated appliance, managed cloud. We have it comprehensively covered for you. One vendor to go to, and that is us. We talked about several data protection challenges that include ransomware, complexity adopting a critical recommendation such as the 3-2-1-1 strategy, and others. See, typically this would take 5 or 6 vendors to help offer a reasonable answer. But Arcserve as a single vendor can help accomplish this comprehensively. For instance, you have for software only with Arcserve UDP, an integrated appliance to handle protection needs, supporting multiple destinations such as tape, disk media. Remember, you needed 3 copies of the data stored in at least 2 media types. You have that comprehensively covered. If not, there are multiple options, right? Not just 2. You could store. We allow you to store backups in more than 2 locations. And we did talk about these Sophos partnership, very strategic and critical. Leveraging which we are now able to offer even a free copy to eligible customers, right, to secure their backup data that is stored on the RPS data stores, right? The RPS servers, if you will, offers a strong first line of defense. And of course, OneSafe Appliance as an immutable store on-prem. Right, so you can store that on a OneSafe appliance and leverage all the benefits that OneSafe brings to table. That includes immutable storage, fantastic data protection functionalities such as dedup, compression and whatnot, encryption and others. And of course, like the strategy suggests, you could send your data to a offsite location. You could use cloud hybrid to send a copy of the backup offsite. And I'd close with guaranteed access to data for recovery from ransomware or your money back. Thank you for the opportunity. Let's see if we have any questions in the box, and we'll be glad to answer them. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any questions. I'm guessing this provided a high-level view. I wouldn't say there are deep dives here. Each solution by itself would consume more than an hour. So clearly the idea here was to give you an overview, provide you with material that you could come back to us and ask if you needed more information on anything. So please feel free to let us know if you have questions on any of the products, solutions, or use cases that we talked about, and we'll be glad to support you with the needed. With that, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for the opportunity. Good day to everyone, folks. Bye.